We're going to talk about calories, setting up your calories. We're going to talk about figuring out your BMR, what I had written down there, BMR, basal metabolic rate, the amount of calories that you burn at rest. We're going to talk about your TDEE, which is the energy expenditure. So basically how many calories you burn individually depending on your activity levels. And we'll talk about setting up macros like proteins, carbs, fats. Talk about your fiber a little bit. I talked earlier today, we did not go over the women's side of setting up your calories. We only did the men's side. I totally forgot that they're different equations. So we'll be going over that. So for the ladies that were here this morning, it's going to be different. You might have seen all these calories, been like, sweet, I've got tons of calories. It's going to be a little bit lower probably than you had beforehand. So anyway, I'm going to start this off by saying I am not a registered dietitian. I am not saying that this is the end-all be-all of what to do. I am just saying that this is what I do sometimes, and it's a good recommendation on what you can do. All right? So let's get started. Any questions before we start? While I step in here to look. Hi, Mary Ellen. What's up, Jen? Andy Miller, oh man. How's it going, bud? All right, no questions right off the bat. All right, cool. So, talking about nutrition in general at the beginning, big problems is rigid meal plans. Meal plans are fine if you're getting started and you're trying to figure out how to do, a macro split, or if you're trying to just figure out what's a good, meal or what I should be eating in general. Meal plans are good for that, but you should be advancing past that fairly quickly. Why? The why is because meal plans are rigid. Rigidity leads to failure. Why does it lead to failure? Because it's boring. It makes it where you tend to binge because the diet is usually fairly strict. It's hard to adhere to because of it being strict, and it's mentally stressful. So if you lack flexibility and you have too much rigidity, then you will most likely fail. Some people are really good with that, but most people need a little bit of flexibility. So that will be something that we will definitely keep in mind. Flexibility and approach. Being a little bit off here and there isn't a big deal. Your body can handle it. Our concerns will be with calories over the span of a week as well. So we're not going to freak out over one bad day when we can kind of fix it later on during the week. So like I was saying, flexible approach. Every day is a new start, and fat doesn't make you fat, really, if you think about it. So fat makes you fat because it's more calorie dense than the other macronutrients. We'll get into that here in a little bit. So I just kind of want to make you think about fat. I talked about that in my Snapchat a little bit. And then also, one bad meal doesn't make you fat as well. That's what I meant to say earlier, was one bad meal. So if you fall off the wagon for one meal or one day, get back on the next day, okay? So going into the types of nutrition, you've probably heard a million different things. Heard about just eat real food, paleo diet, if it fits your macros, clean eating, raw eating, vegan, like all this different mix of people who will cut things out, add things in, do certain things. And in the end, it all should be depending on your style, what foods you like, and it should have a reason. You shouldn't just do things just because it's popular or people are doing it or your buddy says it was great and all. You can try it out, but I've seen people that don't eat meat like beef and pork because of the way that the animals are treated. Same with beef, pork, chicken. People that will only eat like eggs and fish for their like meat protein sources. And the reason why is because they don't agree with animal cruelty whenever it comes to how the animals are harvested. What's a macro? Good question. We are getting there. Hang tight just a sec. The rest of the types of the nutrition would be types of diet. You're going into, what they're doing is they're making foods look like good foods and bad foods. And what it comes down to is food is food. What makes a food a food? It's something that we can eat and digest and get energy from. And energy is calories, and the calories come from macros. There we go, Susie. That's where that was coming from. The macros. What are macros? They're the proteins, carbs, and fats that make up your foods. So we'll have different things that are made up of different mixtures of macros or have lacking macros. Like protein can be in a lot of things or be missing out of a lot of things. Carbs is in a lot of things, can be missing from a lot of things. Same thing with fat. So in the end, it's all about, with the food is food kind of thing, it's all about adherence, sticking to your plan, sticking to your calories, and trying to get close to a good macro range. I've seen diets where people do crazy things, eat like 1 million bananas a day, and they still lose weight, but in the end, they're watching their calories, so they're eating bananas up until a certain calorie point, and then they lose weight from there. So that is something as well that you can think about is, you know, person is eating one kind of food. It's not necessarily a good diet. I would never recommend it or do it, but people have lost weight doing it. So for someone did it work, yes. Did they like it? I'm sure they did. Did they write a book about it? Yeah, they did. They probably sold some people, but I mean, it's not something that I would recommend doing. I mean, because you're surviving off of fruit and carbs. Anyway, but the big thing is sticking to it and staying within your calories. So how do we find your calories? So there's an equation. What we want to start out doing is finding your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. So this is your calories at rest, like I was talking about earlier. For men, it's different than women. So men, I'm going to use myself as an example, but here's the equation. Get out your pen and paper, write this down. It's going to be important. So BMR, okay, is 66 plus 13.7 times your weight in kilograms, okay? So how do we find your weight in kilograms? You're going to take pounds, so how many pounds you are, and divide it by 2.2046, all right? So for me, it ended up being at 178. It ended up being what I have here? 80.74, okay? So there's mine. All right, and then going on with the equation, plus we have 5 times your height. Whoop. Just to make it smaller because we're going to run out of space. Centimeters, height in centimeters, cm. All right, so how do you find your height in centimeters? You take your inches and you multiply it by 2.54. Inches times 2.54. For me, was 170.18. All right, and we won't run out of space. 6.8 times your age. I'm 28. Age. There, in case we forget why it's centimeters. All right, so plug these in. Make sure you guys do your math here. Figure out what you are in kilograms and centimeters. All right, so whenever I figured mine out, it was 66 plus 1106.14 plus, what's my, there we go, 850.9 minus 190.4. All right, what did that give me? So Josh has a BMR of 1,832.64 calories a day. All right, so there's your BMR. Any questions on that real fast? Now that I'm looking over here. What's up, Chris? Can you guys see that? I hope. Maybe it looks sideways because they're a little bit off tilted. No questions yet? All right, cool. If anything comes up, shoot it over. So, once we have our BMR, that's what we're burning at rest. So if I was going to lay here all day long, that's what I would burn. If I sat all the time, you know, moved from my bed to the kitchen, to the car, to a chair, to the car, to the kitchen, to bed, you know, not really burning anything, it's going to be about that. I mean, it'll be a little bit higher than that, maybe, but not much. All right, so with this, you have your baseline. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out your total daily expenditure, and it depends on how much you move, and it goes on a scale from 1 to 2, all right? So, oh man, black marker, come on. All right, so 1.0 is like the first person I was talking about, no movement, okay? Then you go into 1.2, 0.4, 1.5, oh, sorry, 1.6, sorry, we go into, keep it even, 1.8 and 2.0. All right, 2.0, this person is insane. They're going all the time, constantly moving. All right, so they are very active at work and home. This person works out all day, every day. This person has the hardest job being manual labor stuff all day, every day, and they work out all day, every day, and they are burning insane amounts of calories because they are very, 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 very active. To give you an idea, I'm a personal trainer. I move equipment all the time. I'm on my feet all the time. My watch tells me that I'm standing at least 12 hours a day, every day. And I would consider myself about here, like a 1.5, all right? I am, for the sake of this, going to do 1.4. So here's no movement. This is still not an active job, but walking and stuff like that a little bit outside of work. This is a not active job, but having a workout routine. This is having a slightly active job and a workout routine. This is having a very active job and a very active workout routine. So in here we're talking like everyday workout routines. And so on to the 2.0. All right, so do your equations for this. So how you do this is you take your calories. So 1,832.64 times 1.4 for me, just because I was making it a little bit easier. I was using this one that's on the scale. And that is 2,565.69. All right, so I'm looking at this number is my maintenance. So if I eat 2,565 calories a day, then I should stay where I'm at this activity level, all right? But we don't want that. We don't want to stay where we are. We're either trying to gain muscle or lose body fat. Currently, I am getting ready to start losing body fat, all right? Summer's coming, guys. Might still be a little cold, but it'll be here. So we want to lose body fat. All right, so what are we going to do to lose the body fat? We're going to cut calories, all right? Cut calories, add in cardio. Any questions yet? No. Okay, cool. All right, so I have my calories. 2,500, what was it? 65. All right. So this is my overall daily calories. What I can do from here is try and figure out, how much do I want to lose per week? I'm gonna go in a safe route and lose between, let me grab my calculator here, I didn't figure this one out. So I want to lose about 1% of my body fat. Let's do that. 1% of my total body weight per day. So 178, so you're talking 1.78 pounds. All right, so how many calories are in a pound? 3,500 calories are in a pound. We'll put this. Okay, so that's how it is. It has to do with to heat up water, how many calories heat up water. Anyway, so 3,500 calories to burn off a pound. All right, so I want to have that deficit to lose a pound. So I'm going to lose between 0.5% to 1% of my total body weight doing this. Okay, easy way for me to do it. Right here. So I'm going to lose minus 1 pound. So that puts me at, so I'm going to subtract 500 calories, and that gives me 2,065. So why would I do this? Because 500 calories times 7 days equals 3,000 500 calories. All right, there's my 1 pound. Super easy way to do it. All right, but it can get a lot more complicated. So if we look at this in terms of my week, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, Sunday to Saturday. And if I have this many calories per day, 2,065 calories per day, whoop, need a calculator on my phone. I got one. Sorry. If you have any questions, you can ask me and I'll punch it in real quick, or ask someone on there, they probably can too. All right, so, and this is all on the men's equation. I'm going to do the women's here in just a second. I just want to get this going while we're on a roll. Anyway, so I'm wanting to stay at this many calories per day. That is 2,005 or 2,065. Where am I at here? Yeah, okay. 2,065 times 7 gives me 7 because 7 days gives me 14,455 in week calories, okay? So almost 1,500 calories in a total week, all put together. But if I do this daily, and say I go with 1,900, all right, and 1,900, and one more day. All right, so I've got, what is this, 5 days at 1,900 calories. So 1,900 times 5, so that's 9,500 calories. And I'm going to subtract my total 14,455 calories for the week. And that gives me 14,455, gives me 4,955 calories to split between 2 days, this day and this day. So divide it by 2, and we get 2,477 calories. Boom. All right, so those are my higher calorie days. You might say, why are we doing higher calorie days? Well, I like to do a thing called carb cycling. So on these days, I can really jump my carbs up. And on these days too, I can also have a super brutal workout. So Sunday, lower carb, resting, super active on Monday, lifting super heavy. I'm gonna have a lot of carbs on this day, and then it drops back down, and then until Saturday. So this means that my Monday workout is going to be my most extreme workout that I'm going to do. On these other days, I'm also going to work out hard, but I'm going to come back on Saturday, replenish my carbs a little bit, full on rest on Monday, or Sunday, and then get it again on Monday. I could, if I wanted to, move the Saturday over to like Thursday and have another pretty heavy day on Thursday as well. So it just kind of depends on what you like and when you're working out hard and heavy. Any questions on that? I went through it super fast. So I'm going to erase it and do the women's calculation. No? Okay, cool. Zoom, zoom, zoom. All right. So there's like what I'm doing. So ladies out there, let me change up my marker. I think I'm losing some ink here. All right, cool. So I wrote one down just especially for you guys. I made up a client. All right. So, ooh, so much more smooth. I love it. All right. So we have 655 plus, and then our equation. So our equation is 9.6 times weight. So this is kilograms times 1.7. And your height in centimeters, and whoops, these aren't times, that's plus, and that's a minus. And then 4.7 times age. Okay, so ladies out there, check this out, write it down real fast. So we're going to say our client is 130 pounds, so that means that they're going to be, what is that, 58.96 kilograms, okay? Centimeters, we're gonna say they're the same height as me because it's easy. All right, 170 point, what was it, 18? And then their age, same age. Me and lady form. All right, so we're gonna figure out what me and lady form would be calorie-wise. They're a lot lighter than me though. All right, so we end up with 655 plus 566.016 plus 289.306 minus 131. Ooh. Bam. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that. All right, so whenever you do the equation, what happens? BMR equals 13. Whoa, I think I did my equation wrong. I think it was 13,787. Oh no, I did not. I did it right. 1,300, that's what it is, and 78.72 calories. All right, there we go. I think, did I time out? No, I'm about to. My little deal was warning me about timing out, I think. Anyway, there we go. So, big calorie drop. Dropped from 18 to 13, but I went down like, what is that, 40 pounds? So that makes a big difference. All right. So this would be the same for the TDEE, your energy expenditure. So if they did the 1378 times point, or 1378 times 1.4, then their TDEE, there we go. That's quite a few calories right there. A little over 1,900 calories. And then you're looking for a deficit from that. So if they had their 130 times, what were we doing? 1%. So you end up with 1.3 pounds lost. So there you go, 500 calories from that. Get you close to being right back down there. 1,400 calories. All right, guys, any questions? Yes, no, maybe so. Moving on. All right, cool. If you didn't write that down, ladies, write it down super quick and get ready to erase it. Or come back and check it out again. All right, cool. So I'm gonna pause this video because my phone's freaking out, saying I'm talking too long-winded. I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to talk about your macros really quick. Proteins, carbs, fats, and fibers, kind of how to get those calculated. So if you want to watch, stay tuned.